Hi, everyone. My name is Paula Duarte, and together with my colleagues Clara, Laura, Luis, and Lucas, we are researchers from NEASF, a research center that studies the regulation of the Brazilian financial system at Getúlio Vargas Foundation Law School in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So today we are going to present about PIX. The title of our presentation is Building Inclusion at the Speed of a Click, Lessons from PIX in Brazil. So PIX, as I just mentioned, is an instant payment system that allows individuals, companies, and public sector institutions to send or receive payment transfers at any time, any day of the week. PIX was created by the Central Bank of Brazil in August 2020, and the central bank is both the regulator and the overseer of the PIX system. And so since its creation, PIX has been a huge success, mainly for three reasons. So first, PIX is available 24/7, so transfers can be made at any time. Second, the central bank established a mandatory adoption of PIX by all financial institutions and authorized payment institutions with more than 500,000 active customers. And third, PIX is free for individuals. So while companies may pay small fees if they use PIX as a payment method, this too is free for individuals. So over the last 5 years, the central bank has been constantly developing new functionalities for PIX. So that's what Clara is going to speak about.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about how Pix is becoming more than just a tool for transferring money here in Brazil. Pix has been evolving into a platform that promotes innovation, financial inclusion, and greater autonomy for its users. One of the reasons for this is because the Central Bank of Brazil has been developing new features for it. So the first features that I would like to present to you are scheduled Pix and automatic Pix. With scheduled Pix, users can set up a one-time payment for a future date. And there is also a recurring option, which allows users to schedule recurring payments of the same amount credited to the receiver's account on the same day each month. Automatic Pix is very similar to recurring scheduled Pix, but it's designed for recurring bills like electricity, phone, gyms, or subscriptions. Instead of setting up future payments, like with the scheduled Pix, with automatic Pix, the payer gives the bank authorization for payments to a specific receiver. And once you give this authorization, the bank automatically approves the payments from the chosen receiver, even if they are of different amounts. These two features, or three features, make payments more simple, faster, and efficient. Pix also bring new ways to access cash through Pix Cash Withdrawal and Pix Change. Users can withdraw money not only from ATMs, but also from retail stores like supermarkets and pharmacies. In the cash withdrawal model, you just scan a QR code, transfer the amount via Pix to the merchant, and receive that same amount in cash. And Pix Change works very similarly through the same technology, but you can pay for a product or service and withdraw cash change in the same transaction. And so these features help bring financial services closer to people, especially in areas with limited banking infrastructure. Another important step for financial inclusion is the possibility of using Pix without internet access. The Central Bank of Brazil is currently working on developing offline Pix. There are different technologies that would allow payments to go through, like Bluetooth and NFC. And we already have Tap to Pay Pix, which uses NFC technology in smartphone for contactless payments. To activate it, the user simply links their bank account to a digital wallet, just like they would with a payment card. But for offline Pix to work, banks will need to adapt their systems to confirm transactions offline. Last, but absolutely not less important for financial inclusion, Pix is also expanding access to credit through two new features, Pix Installments and Pix Collateral. With Pix installments, the payer can access credit to split a payment into several installments, like you can do with your credit card. The receiver still gets the full amount instantly, while the payer repays the bank over future months. Pix collateral, in turn, was designed for companies and merchants that receive Pix payments. It allows them to use the receivables from Pix transactions as collateral when applying for loans. So this mechanism is very interesting because it reduces risk for financial institutions and makes it easier for especially small businesses to obtain credit with better conditions, such as lower interest rates and longer terms. So to
So,
sum up, Pix
sorry,
is
go ahead.
sorry, Pix is not just an instant payment system; it's evolving and connecting payments, credits, and giving more opportunities for innovation and financial inclusion. You can go, Paul.
Thank you. So now Luis is going to talk about some data on PIX.
Yeah, let's talk about some data when we talk about PICs. So the first of all, in this chart, you can see that numbers are divided by month and in different characteristics like millions of reais or millions of people. So I will describe for you. So the first chart, you can see the number of users of PICs in Brazil. So you can see for legal entities and for persons, we have in Brazil more than 200 million people, and we have approximately 100 150 million people in Brazil using PIX as legal entity or persons. The idea that is this mechanism is very popular in different kind of people or the value of money. So the second chart, it's about the transactions. So as you can see, it's divided by month too. Uh, we have a good number of fixed transactions per month in Brazil, especially more than 4 million people, or sorry, 4 million transactions per month. People using Pix is a huge volume, by the way. It's a very new mechanism and it's very popular, as you can see, in number of people and the number of transactions. So we're going to the third chart. Thank you. We can talking about the volume of transaction. So as you can see again, is divided by month. And when we talk about the value of transactions, we can see approximately more than 3 million reais uh, per month in the using by this mechanism. So as you can see, uh, we have transactions that are related to big, huge quantity of money, but less too. So we have good numbers at all with this mechanism here. And in the last chart, we can compare with another payment methods in our country. So Pix is number one, by the way, if you can compare to credit cards, debit cards, or even money itself, Pix have more value, especially in our recent numbers. So thank you so much, Paula. That's number.
Thank you, Luis. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Okay, so now I'm gonna give the floor to Laura and Lucas because they are going to talk about the challenges of PIX. So please, Laura.
So I
Oh,
think, yeah, I
sorry.
think I'll start speaking. Yeah, then okay. Uh, for start, Pix is already a platform that is used by a lot of people in our country, in Brazil, but it still imposes some barriers to its use. So I'll be talking about exclusion that Pix does, and maybe try to think of some methods to try to include a major part of our population inside that uh, payment method. So we have a very clear barrier that is the technological barrier because our country, not all people in our country have telephones and rapid rapid and available internet connection, and also knows how to use a bank app inside their phones. So that exclude a major part of old generations of our country, and also people that are in rural areas because they don't have easy access to internet. Also, we have educational exclusion because a person with a uh, lower education, or that, for example, don't know how to read, or we have a big problem in Brazil that is people know how to write their names but don't actually understand what is behind the things that they are reading. Uh, find difficulties in using this type of technology. Also, it is dependent on the structure of the central bank of Brazil, and also produces an exclusion to other type of payment methods. As Paula explained, PIX was introduced by the Central Bank of Brazil, and since it's free, it imposes a lot of barriers for example, Apple Pay, WhatsApp Pay, or other type of payment methods to enter the market in Brazil, and it generates a uh, an ambient of lack of concurrence. Yeah, I don't know, like yeah, in Brazil, and no other payment method of that type can enter the market because of that. Uh, so I think it's that. Uh, uh, Lau- uh, Laura
Laura,
can follow talking about the frauds involving pigs. And that's it. That's it for the exclusion part.
All right. So thank you. Hello, everybody. As we have mentioned quite a few times during this presentation, Pix is very widely used as a payment system in Brazil. We absolutely love it. Everybody has done a Pix over here. But this popularity makes it very, very valuable as well for scammers and for fraudsters in general. So they can exploit over there some weak points. And generally, these are more in user behavior since we have so many users. Around mid 2024 to mid 2025, over 24 million Brazilians have already reported being victims of fraud involving either Pix or payment slips, which we translate as boleto, that we use a lot here as well. So there's an estimation, there has been a study that if no significant countermeasures are adopted, the total losses coming from Pix related scams could reach up to 12 billion reais, Brazilian reais, by 2028. So we have definitely a little bit of a crisis to administer over there in that sector. So I brought over here some types of Pix scams, some more of the most famous scams. For example, there's the WhatsApp account hijacking. Somebody gets a verification code, takes over your WhatsApp account, and starts messaging your contacts as if they are you, and requesting urgent transfers via Pix. Some other do the same with other social media profiles in general, copying your photo and targeting people close to you, saying that you need some money and you need an urgent Pix transfer. There is also social engineering via fake support agents. So the scammers, they pose as either a bank or an app support team, and they claim that there was a suspicious activity related to your account. And the victim then verifies their information or disables some bank security settings, trying to help out to fix this problem. There's also fake banking calls. So they claim to be from the user's bank and they request something to test a Pix. You send them a Pix as a way to confirm an account registration, for example, or to check if your account is blocked or not, which is not something that banks are supposed to do. There is also the Pix bug or an investment trap. So they start sending a lot of WhatsApp chains saying, oh, there is a bug in Pix. If you send a Pix to this ID, then you will get more money back from that. And people just fall into it. A lot of tempered QR codes as well. So in live streams or sometimes even when you're paying on the streets, There's a fake QR code that's not the amount that was supposed to be, that you're supposed to be paying. And of course, the wrong Pix request, when a scammer intentionally sends a small transfer over to you. They text you, ask, "Hey, can you send that money back?" I send it to you by accident. And generally, when you send it back, you send it to another account. So that's a way as well for you to lose track of the money. So when you take into account all of these possible scams, you see that's really more of the flaw is on scammers exploiting urgency and fear and trust. They are manipulating, they are using psychological manipulation on the users and on their victims. It's not really an issue with technology itself, which is why it's so necessary to have more financial education. So right now, what are we doing to try to fight back? So banks have introduced a dispute resolution button within their apps. So users are able to contact fraudulent Pix transfers without needing to call support and to go through all of that phone call with the bank that we all know it's a little bit slow. And once activated, the bank, then they block the funds, the bank of the recipient, block the funds immediately, even if just part of those funds. And both institutions, from the recipient and from the sender, need to investigate the claim. If the fraud is confirmed, the funds must be returned in up to 11 days. But this does not apply, and that's really important to say, to regrets, to typing errors, or even to commercial disagreements. This is exclusively for frauds and scams. In addition, the central bank is also incentivizing an automatic alert for suspicious activity system. So transfers that happened outside users' usual pattern of transfers, such as like high value transfer or very frequent transfer to new recipients, they are temporarily delayed. And the system issues a real-time warning to the user to confirm whether the transfer is intentional. And if it's not confirmed, then the transfer is blocked for safety reasons. There are also some other mechanisms. For example, there's a limit for Pix at night, and people try to keep that as well to avoid robberies or scams, but it's a little bit difficult to control. Some of the significant limitations with that is that even with the new mechanism for dispute resolution, refunds, they are not guaranteed. If the criminals and the scammers move the funds away quickly, recovery is nearly impossible because it's a very fast payment system. And so the real-time transactions, they leave very little room for containment once the transfer is actually confirmed. And once it's done, it's almost always done for good. And we are trying to tighten up the penalties for these types of frauds. The Congress is already has some legislative and some bills measures underway, but still it's going a little bit slow, and we're trying to raise public awareness as the most critical defense at this moment. And yes, these are some of the main concerns over fraud with Pix.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Lara. So to sum up, Pix has been a huge success despite the challenge that Lucas and Laura just mentioned. But Pix has been helping a lot to include financially the Brazilian population and to expand the access to the financial system. However, we also have to be aware of the challenges so that they won't cause harm for the population, especially low-income people that are generally more vulnerable. But overall, Pix has been game-changing in Brazil. So I think that is what we had for today. And we don't have any questions here. So if any of my colleagues don't want to add something up, I think we are done here. Does anybody want to add something, or we are good? Yeah? Okay, so thank you everyone, and that's it. Bye.